So when I made the shed has evolved considerably, and initially I had vegetables up there and I just did a kind of makeshift ladder, which it wasn't particularly practical, definitely not safe. So I needed a more permanent thing, especially with having a beehive up there. The last thing you want to do is going up and down on a ladder. So I had the idea of making the stairs. So I created a spiral staircase. Spiral just to maximum use of space, interesting feature. So what I did, I was looking online, I found some old scaffolding boards, bought them. Some were rotten, but some were okay, enough to make something. So, and I bought a scaffolding pole and then scaffolding clamps like this. So all I've done is created a frame around the outside, so post here, frame around the outside, and that's just to kind of like hold them in position. But the principal strength comes from drilling a hole into each board and just lowering them. And all these do, you just screw them up. There's nothing fancy, you just screw them up, and so they just sit on top, and then I fix it on the far side. Now initially I did it with a screw through, which worked fine, but eventually they are going to rot. So the best thing, I've adapted it since, and I've put in, if you look here, I've just put in bits of wood underneath, and all that does is you still screw it in from the side, but it sits on that, so it's all gravity, it's all just working together, and that just gives it a lot more strength. There was then the problem of underneath the stairs, because it's obviously going to be fairly dry, it's going to be dark. Now that is a prime example for somewhere where you can tend to put stuff, and it'll stuff you don't know what to do with. It ends up messy, so it ends up being an unpleasant area. But I don't want any of that in my garden. I want all of my garden to be enjoyable. So I made a hedgehog house first. Perfect area, quiet, secluded. If you look in, I'll point to it. So the entrance is just here. I don't know if there's a hedgehog in there at the moment, but all I've done, I've made this box so it goes in there, and then I've covered it all, and this is all just stuff I've cut back before, and I've just piled it on, and it just creates an area of seclusion and privacy. And then all I've done here, these are just logs which are piled up, and if you look under here, I mean, this is a great example. So I've just put, but look at, if you look there, see all the wood lice? Loads of wood lice. And under here, worms. Look at all that. A frog. There's always a frog. I've always got frog slugs. So an area which I didn't really know what to do with is actually brilliant. I mean, look at all the life just there. And I've got a few ferns and things, but it's kind of the area that I have to do least with is now the most popular environmental area. You've got spiders. I put some rocks in there as well, just loads of different things, and there you go, absolutely massive life there. And that was from an area which I didn't really know what to do with, which was left over from something I purposely built. So it just shows that any bit of the garden can be utilised. Again, I keep going on about these wires, I use them everywhere, but again, I've done the wires here, and that's had the grapevine. So again, it just makes it a really interesting staircase to want to walk up and see what's up there.